What is up, everybody? It's Waifu Belector, the only fair human on Earth, here to talk a little about PlayStation. More specifically, I want to focus on their multiplayer machinations, because maybe it's just me, but it's getting weird. It's getting hard to keep track of in terms of the end goal. I'm not sure I see the vision, you know? I mean, it started off well enough. I mean, conceptually anyway. Cause for what, like the past year and a half, maybe 2 years, we've been aware of a plan by PlayStation to push into multiplayer. They are the single player guys, after all. They've got the big single player blockbusters on lock, but of course, that's not enough because of capitalism. So they went ahead and devised the plan to enter multiplayer with some effort and force. They made acquisitions and hired people with that goal in mind. Those acquisitions and hires seemed like good moves to aid in their goal. However, at the same time that we were first being made aware of the PlayStation multiplayer plot, a games media sentiment was also rising in prominence. An uncanny disdain for live service and sometimes just anything allowing for more than 2 players was growing in popularity. And it didn't stop. So for about 2 years, we have the direction of PlayStation and the sentiment of those who control the games industry's narrative moving toward the hope for completely opposite futures. And in 2024, I'd say games media is winning. Although maybe not exclusively because of games media, the PlayStation multiplayer push still is currently scatterbrained at best, possibly due to the announced retirement of Jim Ryan, PlayStation's former head and CEO of Sony. If he were the one making those pushes into live service and into multiplayer, it could speak to why some of it is getting walked back after his retirement. However, I'd guess it's some combination of both public sentiment growing unfavorable toward multiplayer and live service, as well as Jim retiring. Either way though, PlayStation now seems to be marching toward multiplayer a lot less confidently than before. And this was no more apparent than when half of PlayStation's planned upcoming multiplayer slate was completely scrapped, including The Last of Us Online. So, 6 of the 12 planned games were cut, and we didn't even know what most of them were. There's no telling if even all of the remaining 6 games will see the light of day. Within those 6 remaining games, there was even a multiplayer spin-off of Horizon, but even The Last of Us wasn't safe, so who knows if the Horizon game has already gotten the chopping block or what. So anyway, my point is that PlayStation has made a plan and a commitment, which unfortunately for them has put them at odds with the popular press. And PlayStation don't seem unaware of this situation they're in. But just being aware doesn't mean they have a good plan to solve the problem. And I'm not so sure that they do. However, the latest development in their crumbling multiplayer plot may offer hints to success in the future. PlayStation has released both Foam Stars and Helldivers 2 very recently to completely separate receptions. Foam Stars is a Splatoon-like shooter, but instead of ink or paint or whatever, it's foam. And regardless of what anyone may think about this thing, nobody fucking cares to look its way. A lot of players are completely unaware of this game, and most of those who aren't don't care to try it. It's currently giving off very dead on arrival energy so far. Perhaps somewhat luckily for PlayStation though, they did simply pay for the exclusivity of Foam Stars rather than develop and publish it themselves. So while it's still an L, not as bad of an L as it could have been. But then on the opposite end of the universe, you have the reception to Helldivers 2, which is currently blowing away all early expectations. Everyone is simply having a fucking ball on Helldivers, and it's hard to find someone with a negative word to say about it. So what's what's the deal? What's the difference? Is it simply that Sony published Helldivers and not Foam Stars, so Helldivers got more care, attention, or quality control? It could be that, or that can only be part of it. The other factor that could be the key to success is that Helldivers 2 released on PC the same day as PlayStation. And this is beneficial for a couple of reasons if you ask me. The obvious first reason being that more people have access to the game, which is especially invaluable with multiplayer. But the second reason that I find it a pivotal choice hinges more on the fact that it released to PC specifically. Listen, if you're a PC gamer, I really don't mean this offensively, but PC players will play anything. They don't fucking care. Quality thresholds are not a barrier. Shitty presentation is not a barrier. They will play anything. Not that Helldivers has those problems, but PC players will play and enjoy games that look and play terribly to the point that that game becomes successful. So a game being live service, competitive multiplayer, or co-op isn't gonna deter them despite what's cool to like at the time. So I think this situation is a little more than just releasing on multiple platforms. I think it's about releasing specifically on PC. If PlayStation's multiplayer efforts release day and date with the PS5 versions, that could be the key to at least significantly increasing the likelihood of success. PlayStation over the last few years has been in the process of increasing its presence on PC anyway. So to me, releasing your multiplayer games day one to PC is a win-win. And you can still retain the exclusivity of the big single-player blockbusters you're known for. That way, PlayStation players still feel like their loyalty to the brand is being rewarded, but riskier projects, in this case multiplayer ones, don't have to suffer. But honestly, what the hell do I know? I'm just here looking and playing video games like everyone else. So I decided to comment on some of what I think I see. You can also comment down below and tell me how stupid and wrong I am. But on the off chance you found this video interesting or entertaining or whatever the fuck, feel free to like or subscribe to the channel. Anyway, this has been a very pointless discussion with Waifu Belector. Until next time, I am Waifu Belector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and is it too soon to say RIP Foam Stars? Goodbye.